Let's start off with our pin long. So selecting this on our browser, hover over here, left click and hold to move this. Next, going to assemble and grabbing joint, selecting capture position. Our motion type is revolute. My intent here is to position our pin long inside the cylinder. So let's select the center origin of our pin long. Let's hover over this cylindrical face. I'm going to hold my control key and select this center joint origin. Hitting OK. Next, let's create another instance of our pin long. So selecting this in our browser, Control C and Control V. Let's grab this planer handle and move this over here. Hitting OK and hitting J for joints. Our motion type to be pin slot. For component 1, let's select this joint origin, left click. Next, I'm going to hover over this cylindrical face, hold control and select this joint origin. Hitting OK. Let's create another instance of our platform. So selecting platform, hitting Control C and Control V. Let's move this one over here. Hitting OK. Our next intent is to create another instance of our pin long, same here. Let's assemble our pin long to this slot and to this cylinder. So let's select our pin long, hitting Control C and Control V. Move this over here. Hitting J for joint, changing this to revolute. Selecting this joint origin, hovering over this face, holding control, selecting this joint origin, selecting OK, hitting Control V for paste, move this component here, hitting J for joint, changing our motion type to pin slot, selecting this joint origin, hovering over this face, holding control, selecting this joint origin. Hitting OK. Zooming out. Next, let's grab our link arm. Let's hover over our browser. Hover over our model. Left click and hold to move this. Hitting J for joint, selecting capture position. Our motion type to be revolute. Let's hover over this face, hold control and select this joint origin. Hovering over this face, left click and select flip. Heading to top view, I'm going to move this arrow up and key in -2.5. Hitting OK. Going back to home view. Let's pull this up. Next, hitting J for joint once more, selecting capture position. Hovering over this face, selecting this joint origin. Selecting this joint origin for component 2. Selecting flip. Heading to top view. And keying in -2.5. Hitting OK. Going to home view. Let's pull our platform up. Let's create another instance of our link arm. Hitting Control C and Control V. Moving this here. Grabbing our rotate handle. Hitting OK. Hitting J for joint, motion type to be revolute. Hovering over this face, holding control and selecting this joint origin. For our component 2, same here. Selecting this joint origin. hitting OK. Grabbing joint once more, hitting J. Motion type, revolute. Let's select this joint origin. Hovering over this face, selecting this joint origin. Heading to top view. To inspect, let's pull this arrow up, giving this an offset distance of -2.5. Hitting OK. Going to home view. Let's inspect. Hitting J for joint, selecting capture position. Selecting this joint origin, holding control, left click. Hovering over this face, left click, head to top view. Pulling this up and keying in -2.5 for offset distance. Hitting OK. Heading to home view. Let's pull our platform up to inspect. Looking nice. I'm going to stop recording and allow you to continue and repeat the steps by creating another 2 instance of our link arm and applying joints to assemble our components on this other side. Welcome back. Let's grab our pin center. Moving this here, hitting J for joint, selecting capture position. Selecting this joint origin, same here. Holding control, selecting this joint origin. Motion type to be revolute. Repeating the procedure. Grabbing our pin center, hitting Control C and Control V. Moving this over here, hitting OK. Hitting J. Selecting this joint origin, hovering over this component. Holding control, left click. Selecting flip, hitting OK. Zooming out. Lastly, let's add a joint limit. Heading over to our joints. Let's add a joint limit to our pin slot 3. Allow me to animate our model. To inspect. Hitting escape. So definitely this pin is limited to this direction, and the length of its direction can be determined by hitting I to grab our measure tool. Let's enable show snap points, hovering over this face, holding control, selecting this point. Once more, holding control, selecting this point. So the distance of travel is 25 millimeters. I'm going to copy this one, hitting close. Heading back to our pin slot, right click, select edit joint limit. So our intent here is to add or limit our motion linear. So via slide. Our minimum to be 0. Maximum. Hitting Control V to copy. Let's animate. So it's correct. Hitting OK. From here, let's zoom out. I can head back to our joint, right click and select Animate Model. Congratulations for completing our final monthly challenge. This video is brought to you by MSI Workstations. Model, render, and simulate seamlessly in Fusion 360 using an MSI Workstation. By completing all our monthly challenges, you will have a higher chance of passing the Fusion 360 User Certification Exam. Looking forward to see you as Fusion 360 Certified User.